So, amongst all of you, who here understands what the responsibilities of a rifleman are? Unit, team, etc.
Floating Common Demon.
I'm waiting for an answer. Anybody?
To just look over everyone else.
No, that's not it. Anybody else want to take a shot at this?
To be the basic unit of the squad.
Your job is to be flexible. Because your job is to be flexible, you have to be prepared to do a lot of things. You are the primary scouts and assault troops of your unit. You have the least gear, but you have the most jobs. You are to assist medics. You are to maybe pick up the job of an assistant gunner of whatever weapon system. That doesn't mean AT, that doesn't necessarily mean machine gun. It could be either or something different entirely. If you're helping with a crew serve, if that's running ammo or holding security, that's you. Whoever it has to be. A rifleman's job is pretty much whatever the hell you're told. Or, in the case of there's nobody to tell you, you need to be able to know what your basic actions are supposed to be in any given situation. So, cover your basics.
Are we going over this?
We're basically sitting, and I'm going to be reading some stuff to you,
Okay.
and just sort of cover it as we go.
Okay, gotcha.
But as a rifleman, your job is to engage and destroy whatever hostile contact you find, positively identify that hostile contact, to secure areas, to follow all of the instructions of team leaders and squad leaders, and be prepared to pick up a more advanced job if necessary. Part of that is you need to be willing to automatically, whatever you're doing, hold security. For instance, right now, we're in a school circle, sort of. But if I told all of you to form a 360 security on me, form a 360 security on me.
What's he covering south?
Damon got east.
I got north.
Who is I?
A dark.
Okay. Mecca, what do you got?
I got West.
Okay. Notice how everybody roughly has an idea as to like forming a 360 security, but it took you about 15 seconds to get there. If your team leader or squad leader that you were traveling with says, post 360 security on me, the reason that they're having you do that is because they need to start talking either to higher or to your team leaders, and they need security while you're doing it. That being the case, they're expecting you to hold that 360 security while they modify the plan. If you see hostile forces that you can positively identify, it's your job to A, call those things out, and B, if told, depending on rules of engagement, engage and destroy them. Your leadership still needs to have their conversation whether or not those hostiles are there. But it's your job as riflemen to let them have that conversation so that the plan can move forward. Any time that you take while you're in this 360 and you're not watching your sector, asking questions, bullshitting, stepping over comms, you're actively taking away from the ability of your leadership to formulate a better plan and do the actual mission that you're there to complete. That seemed pretty understandable?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Dark Knight, you wanted to go over some positive identification help.
Yes.
What exactly would you say you're struggling with as far as positively identifying stuff?
More so just at, like, deciding whether, like, color of arm, like, our uniform could be similar in color to theirs, and just kind of, like, turning around a corner and just seeing someone. That's,
Okay.
like, yeah.
So tell me this. When you are aiming down the sights of your weapon, if you're just looking with your weapon up and you hold down your rightmost mouse button,
Right.
does your vision zoom in or does your scope come up?
My zoom is just in push forward, so it zooms in.
Okay. So that's one way that you can start trying to identify those things if you don't
Okay.
have a scope on your weapon. If you have a scope, you can always look through it and then try to assess wherever you're possible. What you can do, because in at least some parts Arm is a game, look for very rigid behavior patterns. Rigid behavior patterns are sort of an indicator or a tell for the AI and how they move, how they walk around. They're
Gotcha.
scanning, but they're not nearly as active as other human participants. Sort of how Mecha is when we're not doing anything, like likes to move around, likes to look at stuff.
Yeah.
Human players do those things. They're constantly looking for new things. They
Right.
don't move their heads independently. AI don't do that. If you see something that is roughly camouflaged and holding a weapon that you can't identify, but it turns, takes a knee, and then you start hearing the sounds of bullets going by you, either whizzing or snaps, that is an indication that you're being engaged by somebody. If you do not see
Okay.
where you're being engaged from, what is your course of action from there?
Probably look in that general direction,
Cover.
or yeah, cover.
Seek cover first. That's always number one. You want to be outside of whatever kill radius, kill zone, wherever they can engage you from. You want to make
Line of sight.
their attempt to engage you less fruitful.
Okay.
We can break 360 security and go back to our adopted classroom portion here.
Yeah, Doug, it's also a good idea whenever you start a mission, just take a look at both yourself and your allies' stuff so that it's easier to identify. Because a lot of AI won't have, like, backpacks, or they'll have RPGs
Right.
strapped to their backs and weird-looking helmets or no helmets.
Okay.
It's very specific kit. In the case that you were in a legitimate combat zone, you would be given some idea as to what to expect off of
Gotcha.
briefings and other, like, passed along intel from leadership. But there's also always the possibility, at least in real life, of friendly assets losing uniforms or having something pass them uniforms that they can then adopt, and at which point you have to determine the behavior of the hostile force to decide to engage
Gotcha.
them or not.
Okay.
What's the next important thing to do after you've taken cover?
Try to identify targets or call out that you're taking fire in which direction.
Demon, since you seem to be rather on point for this, I'm actually going to have some of the other guys start answering more of these questions. But yes, you're correct. What happens after you've identified those targets and called out a cardinal direction?
Start laying waste.
You start engaging.
Yeah.
Now, in the circumstances that you have a machine gun as part of the element that you're working with, what should their job be?
Should suppress
Suppressing
them.
fire,
Why?
so they can't shoot back or move.
But you could do that with a rifle. Why would you do that with a machine gun instead of a rifle?
For multiple people.
Because the rifleman or the MG gunner is about 60% of your squad's fire.
Lucifer is correct on this. While a normal rifle can put out a fairly prodigious rate of fire when asked to, a machine gun is a completely different force to compare with. Now, once you have a machine gun that has actually been emplaced and employed, what does that free up the rest of you riflemen to do?
360.
Why would you 360 in this particular incident?
Make sure that no unseen enemies possibly sneak up on you.
You're partially correct. Any other answers?
The machine gunner still suppressing fire.
To move up on target and make sure that they're dead.
Lucifer is correct. Your goal, once the machine gun has suppressed an enemy force, to hold them in place and make it more difficult for them to engage you, is for riflemen to then assault up to the position where you have taken contact from, close with, and destroy that element.
Okay.
The assistant of the machine gunner will stay with them in that base of fire because, one, machine gunner is going to need their assistant. We don't do barrel changes in this game, but you need them in other cases. Also, they're going to need the ammo that that person has on them, depending on the duration and ferocity of that firefight. You will probably need that spare ammo.
Right.
Therefore, it's always wise to have them there. What's another good reason to have your assistant next to your machine gunner?
Just in case machine gunner goes down
Medic
from
supply.
a straight bullet or whatever, they can call it in.
One, they can call it in. Two, they could provide medical. But what's potentially more important for them to do in that circumstance if the machine gun goes down?
Take place of the machine gun and use it.
Thank you, Mecca. That is exactly correct. It is the job of the assistant machine gunner, who is, by all intents and purposes, a rifleman with extra shit to carry, pick up that job in the case that the machine gunner can no longer perform it. How would this be different for an AT situation?
If you're getting hit by a Mecca, are you talking?
Mecca's just got hot mic over him like I used to.
Okay. If your main AT guy goes down, then your assistant can either call it in, take out the rocket and fire at the vehicle, or whatever, and yeah.
That is correct. The job of the assistant AT gunner is to pick up the rocket system and then re-engage whatever armor or technical, etc., has engaged you. Why is it important for riflemen to know the tasks of an assistant gunner, even if they are not the assistant gunner?
In case the assistant gunner goes down,
And you need to?
fill in their place.
Exactly. It is going to become commonplace for most of the training that we're doing, despite the fact that this is not particularly engaging or action-packed, for us to cover these things at the beginning of training in the future so that people continue to reinforce and remember these principles, because it is always the rifleman's job to know the job of the next person above him and the next person above them, because every person in the group needs to know how to do these things. That way, if people go down, it's not a question of, oh no, where's our leadership? No, you know what to do. Already have the knowledge, implement a new solution. If the plan is wrong, the team leader's dead, and you need to regroup and figure it out, now is the time for you to start figuring out those skills to make not only you more more successful, but the rest of the group more successful. Any questions? So, if we are moving in a mount environment and I call a halt as your team leader, what do?
Stop.
Stop and perform 360.
Stop and perform 360. What do you not necessarily perform about 360 in this environment? You do not form up into a circle inside an open space in urban
okay.
terrain because otherwise a grenade might find all of you at the same time. What you will do is you will find the nearest piece of at least 90-degree cover from where you are and focus your attention outward. Meanwhile, your team and squad leaders will then communicate. During this time, what is it important for you to do?
Listen and be quiet and make sure no one's gonna harm you, the captain.
What other actions might you need to do during this time?
Suppression.
PID, which is looking out around your situation and engaging enemy hostile contact if they are there. Watching for them if you've not been engaged. And listening. There's this thing in the military called a SILS check. It's called stop, look, listen, smell. We can't smell here because this isn't virtual reality.
Of course we can.
We'll smell something, but it won't be what you're trying to smell in here.
Who ate the bean burrito?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
My bad.
So the goal here is for you to listen to your surroundings. If you don't have tinnitus because you put in earplugs or you already have hearing protection, you should be able to hear other things around you, aka contact reports from other parts of your team. If you hear a contact report as a rifleman, what is your first job?
Move up. Engage.
Anybody else?
Wait until they're suppressed, then move up when ordered.
No.
The
Your first job is to stay in position, let the person who contact reported being aware of that situation. If they are being positively ID'd as hostile and engaged, they engage that person. You need to maintain the rest of your security because if you drop 90 degrees of your security and it was a feint, now hostile forces to come in around you.
So, just to make that a little bit clearer, let's say, for example, that all of us are like this, and each of us is looking in the direction that we are sitting. If a hostile spawned behind myself, being Dragon, who is the most likely person to be able to see, engage, and destroy the target?
Tail.
Right? So what is the first thing he's going to do?
Call it out.
No, he's going to shoot him.
Contact.
Yes,
Shooting
you're going to
and
shoot him.
engaging with contact. And
So you
as I'm
say-
shooting,
This is exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to be pretending I'm Tail. A person comes up behind him. He's hostile. Where's my gun? There's my gun. There you go. All right, I'm in a ready position, or I'm not in a ready position, but I am expecting contact soon. Right? I see the contact. Contact. Contact down. One enemy infantry killed.
at which point he details the important parts and continues maintaining a visual that direction.
It is not helpful for anybody for you to call out a contact, watch it, watch it, watch it, and not engage the contact. The only
Especially
exception,
if you ID'd it as
Right.
hostile.
the only exception to that is exactly what he said. Is, there's like a confusion between, hey, there might be civilians in the area or there might be friendlies in the area. For most of what we've been doing, we have not had any incidents regarding civilians that much, especially in the last few ops. So that should be common practice for us to contact, engage, contact down. It was a rifleman. He came from that side. Blah blah blah. You keep watching. A lot of people seem to think that we have to call it up and then wait for our squad leader to let us know to engage, and that is not correct. Unless you've been told otherwise, there's a contact, there's a threat, he's shooting at you or he's about to shoot at you or your teammate, you engage and you destroy them first.
In every case, whereupon in which you see a potential enemy combatant, you need to identify several things before you can establish positive identification and hostile intent. What are those things?
Location.
You'll have a location from visually seeing a person. How do you identify that they are a hostile threat to you and that they are an imminent threat to you?
Probably shooting already, or just aiming with a gun, I guess.
If you see any person that you do not know to be a player-controlled human aiming at you with a gun for the cases of this game stipulation, if someone is aiming a gun at you, that's hostile intent. If somebody who is not one of us is pointing a gun at you, that's hostile intent. Now, frankly, there's a whole lot of flagging that happens in this game, a lot, no matter what's happening. And as far as like the safety aspects of firearms handling, you should never flag another person. This is a video game. This is Milsim Light. We're not getting that serious. I'm being dead serious. It is not an expectation I will hold you to because this is a game and we're here to have fun. But for the sake of professionalism, it is more important for you to know you should not be flagging any of your brothers, because that's what you are when you're playing this game. You are all a team. So, Dragon currently does not look like the rest of us. He has his boogie shirt on. His pants don't match our camo style. His weapon looks pretty familiar. But what can you tell about him immediately in the sense of what's going on?
He's
Doesn't look like
looking
one of
around
us.
a lot.
Doesn't look like one of us. So if Dragon was to put his weapon at Demon Slayer, that would be hostile intent. If we have rules of engagement that allow for only having to identify a person as not being part of our group, and we can consider them as hostile otherwise, if they're armed and they're pointing a weapon at you, engage them. There's no reason for anything that points a weapon at you or any of the other people who are operating with us to be left alone to continue pointing a weapon at us. That is a mission risk for us. That's medical supplies that will have to be expended. That is people's safety. That is mission safety.
Now, an
All-
amendment to that. Let's say that, we've been told that, hey, there are friendly forces in the area operating with us. What are some things that I am wearing that might show that I am friendly and not hostile? If you have no idea what friendlies look like.
You have a familiar weapon system to ours, like your rocket.
Yep. What else?
You're
Your
wearing
armor.
a close enough camo to ours and
Yep.
your helmet.
Using. So, which Becca basically covered. Exactly. So, keeping those things in mind, this is, of course, really, really difficult to do as distances and things become greater. And that is why the other thing that I feel like is really important that Dark Knight kind of touched on is location. And the reason I want to say that is because if you actually, let's reference our map really quick. We are currently right here, right? You zoom out, you see this blue, very oddly shaped thing. That shows us that we are in friendly zone right now. If we know that, and some dude looking like me came out of the woodworks. Are you gonna shoot him inside of this blue zone?
No.
Probably not.
Good,
Not unless he shoots first.
good, very good. Now, let's say we're moving westward. Correction, we're moving southeastward, right? Continue looking at your map, please. We're moving like that along the road, right? Now you guys are positioned somewhere over here. A unknown individual steps out from the north. So he steps out this way, approaching you guys, not pointing a weapon at you, looking kind of like me. What do?
Assume hostile.
Call out for a target ID.
That is the more correct response. You always want to call out, hey, like, is that guy friendly? You're not going to shoot. You're not going to assume hostile. Actually, in this case, you're probably going to assume that he's friendly, but you don't want to really do that ever. You always want to ask for PID, right? Because you're outside of the wire, you don't know. But
I
like,
am.
hey, but like, the thing I want to kind of hammer on here is if we are approaching hostiles and we know that we've come from like that road and people reinforce us from the north, we can safely assume that those are friendly forces, right? Because we just came from there. That's a friendly zone. You know, they might have been called out over radio. Excuse me. If somebody comes up from the south, like that, what can we assume?
They're more than
Enemy.
likely hostiles.
That's correct. It is more likely that they are hostile and that they are not friendly. So when you are positioned in that black circle and you are doing a 360, the people in the front are more likely to engage and find contact than the people in the back.
User
However,
joined your channel.
it is really, really important that we don't assume friendliness and instead we have this. It's kind of like a pseudo assumption, really. I don't really know how else to really put it.
It's
and that
a provisional acceptance that you are aware that from your mission briefing, anybody who may be approaching us from the south could be hostile. If we see somebody who is approaching us from the south, we're looking for some very key things. They have a weapon. Are they wearing camouflage? Are they behaving strangely? If they're talking and we can understand them, what are they saying? Are they eyeballing our position? Are they communicating with anyone? These are the things you're looking for. This would be a very obvious, like, oh yeah, that guy looks like he's not here for our benefit. That seems like a pretty reasonable thing to presume in that situation. But if he showed up in a beach hat, shades, flip-flops, and swim trunks with a cut-off shirt, if he's not fucking with you, he might be hostile, he might not like you, but unless he does something to indicate that he's going to actively do something about it, watch him. Look for other contact. If you see something that's wrong, call that out. The main thing you're looking for is suspicious activity, presence of weapons, obvious markings that link him to be a hostile force. That's your basic, like, I now have awareness of my situation. As far as what you should be looking for during a 360 outside of friendly lines. If you see people who are out of character, call that in. Like, verify that with somebody else. If you see something that looks like an imminent threat, like dude with an RPG, second floor of blank house in the town, like cardinal direction, that's important. You can engage that guy if you see him pull that rocket launcher out and he's been looking our way. frankly, in Arma, it's more likely that they're going to have more kit than that. But in a realistic scenario, if you see some guy holding an RPG-7, he's from my time at war, you're significantly more likely to go, oh yeah, he's got an RPG-7. It is allowed for Iraqi civilians to have one AK for their family. They didn't say anything about RPGs in that briefing. If he's got an RPG, he's up to no fucking good. At which point, if he's dressed like that, he's not Iraqi police, he's not Iraqi army, that could be presumed as normal. He might be watching part of his neighborhood, might not pose any threat to you at all. Should you treat him with suspicion?
Yes.
Yes. If you see someone with a mass casualty device looking at your squad and can't get a positive ID, is it shoot first, apologize second? Realistically, Demon, your briefing should account for your rules of engagement in this way.
Yeah.
Specifically, if you see somebody with a mass casualty device or anti-tank weapon, explosive detonator, cell phone, depending on your circumstances, you can presume that that person is possibly up to no good. If you see them doing suspicious things, like trying to get an eye on where your path is, if they're getting too close to you, if they're not responding to hey, you, go away, go home, not safe to be here, go away, then you can treat that as okay, he's not listening to me. At which point, that is a sign of hostility. Compliance is kind of a thing there, but I don't know how much we're going to get into that for this game.
Yeah, we haven't done checkpoint stuff yet, and you'll understand and get more familiar with that when we do it. But let's do a quick, real rapid fire. Am I a threat?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly
don't
is the correct answer.
Yeah, if you don't respond to commands, you could
Am
be.
I a threat?
Yes.
Yes.
Am I a threat?
Yes.
Fuck yes.
Am I a threat?
Possibly.
Potentially.
Simple as that.
Okay, so we've all got an idea as to how PID works, even though he's not necessarily wearing a uniform.
Though that does look moderately similar to some of the things we fought.
That is because when we were fighting those things, we were told we were fighting those things.
Yeah.
If I have some
Important
dudes
distinctions.
in civilian clothes like this walking around town, are you gonna engage them?
No.
Not until
If you've
they've,
been told-
not unless they've engaged us first.
Good. If you've been told that there are Russians in a town and your objective is to, eliminate or neutralize Russian threats, and you see a bunch of civilians walk around with me, what are you gonna do?
Call out civilian presence and focus on the confirmed hostiles.
And you see me walking up on you guys like this, what do you do?
Start
Ask you to move
questioning.
away.
Yes, you want to get me away. I am not one of you. I am a suspicion. I am a threat. I am not a person that you're going to shoot right away, because I don't look Russian. I'm not doing anything suspicious. As soon as I walk up on you guys, though, that's a problem. You don't know what I have. I could have grenades on me. You don't know what I'm doing. If I'm over here, you guys can still hear me, right?
Yeah.
If I'm over here, I'm not a threat. If I'm doing this, I am a threat.
You could be a suicide bomber.
Yep. Or I could just, I don't know, have something attached to me that's basically, yeah. I could have grenades. There could be a million different things.
He doesn't have to have a bomb specifically. A frag grenade running at you that fast to a formation this tight. That's
like
Mecha,
four
Dark
people
Knight,
dead.
me, and Demon Slayer all casualties, period. Doesn't matter what happens to him at that point because you're about to be in contact from some other direction. Could be from behind where Mecha is sitting, could be behind from where I'm sitting. They could have a dude waiting to like fire an LMG right down that path so that anybody who is currently wounded is now covered by suppressing fire. If they wanted to, if Lucy and Hemp tried to get us out of that casualty area, it'd be incredibly difficult for them to access us. It would be even worse for a medic to try and go there to get them. That doesn't mean they won't try, but it's a bad situation.
Another really important thing I want to make sure that we cover. I don't mean to step on you, but I just
Oh, go for
realized
it.
this. I'm gonna actually simulate this with some AI. They'll be friendly, so don't shoot anybody, please.
If it's devouring AI, then
It'll be fine. I won't put them in anywhere important. All right, that person is.
Let's all just
Come on, cover.
control Tilda right now. Put your weapons on safe. Just be safe.
And dead.
All right, you are. Let's say we are about to clear this area. We just finished clearing it. We have now arrived right here, and you see that friendly over there, unconscious. What is the first thing you're gonna do?
Look
Secure.
and see any immediate threats.
Exactly. The last thing I
360
want to see.
security.
Yes. The last thing I want to see you guys doing is some dumb thing like this. Oh, we got a friendly down. Guess what? The threat that killed him might still be alive. You need to check and make sure the area is secure. I can't remember the exact quote, but it's like, if there's a person down, there's a reason he's down, and you don't want to be there and be another reason that's down. That didn't come out right at all, to be honest.
We got the point.
Yeah.
So you did a good job.
You know, you don't want to be another casualty. You're not trying to be another casualty here. You know, you're trying to make sure that whoever got that guy has been dealt with, and you know, you get your boy revenge or justice, whatever you want to look at it as. You're trying to make sure that. Say that one more time. I still think you're not on yelling.
Medical attention.
Yes. So first thing you want to do, make sure the area is secure. Then medical.
Well, drag him behind cover if you can. Don't do it out in the open.
No,
Yes.
you wait on that part. Security comes first.
Well, yeah, no, I meant as a second in the medical attention step.
Okay.
Yeah, I meant in the medical attention step. You want to get them into cover.
If I were to yell out grenade right now, what is the first thing you do?
run in.
Spread.
That's right.
Echo it. And then run. If somebody yells grenade, I mean, hopefully everybody hears it. But this is sort
Echo
of
it
the same
while
thing
running.
with like, if I'm all the way over by that hangar, and Mecha sees something, and he's supposed to be the squad leader, hypothetically, and he calls for a halt, unless I can hear it, I ain't gonna stop moving. I might notice that everybody else has stopped moving and take the hint, but it is important that you call out and echo some instructions so that just in case people haven't heard, everybody gets the message. That's
Yeah.
important for grenade. That's important for contact. That's important for direction, description, all those things. Not everybody's going to catch the first call if it doesn't come over the radio. And at this distance, Mecha would have a justification to use radio to call that halt. But if he didn't, somebody else's prerogative is to call that halt, either over the radio or so that people who are outside of his range for speaking can hear it.
Yeah, and that's a good kind of last point. We don't want to probably drag this on too long with some practical application, but especially for the radios, why would I not? If I were to say grenade, just by yelling it out. Why would I not want to call it out over radio?
Because you don't want to scare everyone because they may be too far.
Exactly. If I dropped a grenade right here at my feet, who gives a shit about the grenade?
All of us, but
I
not
do.
say the squad on the other side of the courtyard over there.
Exactly. So anybody in voice range should know about it, but nobody on the radio needs to know about it. We could have our squad split up like half over there and half over there. If I yell out grenade and the squad over there then disperses because they think they're under a grenade,
Possibly out of
throws
cover.
that to them, yeah, they're now possibly out of cover, and you've possibly compromised that. You know, Mecca as a squad leader, he says halt over radio. Totally cool. That is a single simple command. He starts giving me a spiel on the radio. No, not cool. Say that off radio, so that if there is a problem, if Hemp sees a contact southwest, he can say that on the radio so that everybody here is alerted to the contact. Another, that's kind of the things that you want to keep in mind. What is important information that needs to be relayed, and what is not important information that needs to be relayed?
Because as riflemen, you are all what?
Flexible.
Scouts.
That's messed up, Tail. Come on.
Hey, I'm 6'7" and I can touch my toes. I count that as flexible.
I actually don't know the answer to
Jokes.
this one you were going for. As riflemen, we are all what? Information gatherers.
You are the eyes and ears of all of the people around you because they can't see all the things you see. It's the reason why every rifleman is, at least in some capacity, a scout. You are the primary scouts and assault troops of any main body force. Now, since I've bored you for probably the last hour how to do this properly and some additional capacity and thought experiments, we can move on to something that might be a little more appetizing as far as CQB. Everybody ready for that, or are there questions? Questions once. Questions twice.
Questions sold?
Questions are closed. Now we're going to move on to actually, like, having you do some room clearing shit. Dragon, do you really, really want to be the op4 for this?
I will probably not for the first few runs, but I don't want them to get complicit in thinking that we will not eventually do PvP, and I don't want them to think it's okay to start abusing AI mechanics, especially with some changes that might be happening. So, for the first 2 rounds, quote unquote, you guys, Hemp, Lucy, Demon, Blue Dark, Mecha, will be performing house clearing with Tail, myself mostly observing. You will probably not see me. I will probably hide myself so I can just observe through Zeus. And then 3, 4, 5, however many that goes, you will have more complicated and harder hostiles who are then therefore more adept at holding ground. And you will then perform the same sort of actions and see how it goes. You said Lucy is squad lead for the intents of this. Mostly this rifleman, so it's fine. Hemp, if you don't mind, since you already have like a really silly 150 round drum mag, you want to just switch to a 249?
Gunner.
That'll give me enough time to set something up here. So
Okay. Remember
We'll
to
be
make sure that
fighting-
you have earplugs in. Remember that short range is set to 60, so let's get a radio check from everybody first.
Damon, radio check.
Good copy. Lucy, radio check.
Good copy.
Mac radio check.
Good copy.
Dark Knight radio check.
Good copy.
Alright, rules of engagement. We will be fighting African militia. There are no civilians. And that's
Don't
all you
worry,
really need to
Murdoch
know.
will add that later.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, we've run into civilians once or twice, but it's not going to mention the
Give a town
casualties.
preference.
Give us something that has a bit per mount, but nothing that's gonna take like
Ryback.
30 plus minutes.
Mecha, Dark,
Ryback it is.
Demon, and Hemp lead the squad, and I'll make a new squad.
Ryback it is.
All right. I expect you'll TPS.
Join on me. Dark, join on me.
Which one? You said?
Lucy. You too, Hemp.
Hemp, would you do me the favor of stepping over with me for a second?
This for what? What country's on your shirt?
It is my
Don't question it.
understanding that you've done a lot of
traitor.
this in the past. Is that correct?
Oh.
Okay.
Is that
Uh,
true?
I'm mostly going to be having
No.
them do the leadership stuff and training. I
I'll
appreciate you
change
coming
it
out
out.
for sure. At
Later.
some point, I would like to get an idea of what your capacity is and how much your experience is, because honestly, your experience playing this game is probably greater than mine. I just want to make sure that I'm not going to waste your time or bore you first.
Is that Yemen?
All right.
Iraq.
Who's Lucifer? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Reference map.
Branch.
Look at Ryback.
Nice.
Got it.
What was your MOS?
There are 3 objective markers, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Those are the 3 buildings we will clear in
Okay.
succession. There are no other hostiles.
Those are good things.
There's
to
no
know.
other threats. You will be inserted.
You've gotten the light taste of infantry life.
Right there. It is
Got
a
it.
compound. Sorry.
Sounds good.
You'll be inserted inside of there. It's a warehouse. The weather conditions are as is. No civilians, nothing else. Each building has about a squad's worth. That's it. No outside patrols. Hostile forces. What'll happen is you'll clear out number 1.
Okay.
Then you will occupy number 1.
Where were
And then
you
I will
stationed?
spawn in hostiles for number 2. And they will garrison in number 2. And then
Oh,
you
okay.
guys will clear out for that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I'm gonna not look like a dumbass. Give me a second.
You don't want to look like the people we're gonna fight?
You are not fighting me. You
Well,
are
yeah,
the
no,
fighter.
I know. And you also said we weren't gonna fight people that
Oh,
look like that. Oh, I can't get on top.
Okay.
My prior service
So,
lived that marine life,
any questions?
and I was also a California person, so I was
Yeah.
down in Pendleton.
Okay. Tail,
Yes, Dragon.
I am ready. So, just to inform you, to reference the map, we will teleport to the green arrow, or the green flag at Ryback. They will clear out the objective number 1. Once that's clear and they hold it, I will then spawn in hostiles and then make them garrison in number 2, and then they will move to clear it. And then I will do the same thing for number 3. This is to also have them understand that when there's a building that needs to be cleared, and like CQB and whatnot, how to approach the building, suppress it, use of their assets, etc., etc.
Okay.
Also, because it is hard for me to spawn hostiles already garrisoned, but them already beside a thing, unless I do it individually. So, I think
We'll take some breathing time between objectives to get you set up.
Yeah, it shouldn't take me more than like 30 seconds, and I think it'll train a couple of different skills at once. So, you guys all
Okay.
ready?
Hemp joined the squad.
Mac is ready.
Dark, nah, it's ready.
Dark. So when I was mentioning flagging earlier, that's the double tap control so that your weapon goes down, so you're in a low ready. It'll snap back up whenever you do end up like using your sights, but for just walking around purposes, it would be preferred, especially with the amount of negligent discharges people are still having, that you keep your weapon at a low ready unless we're in an active
Oh,
combat
okay.
environment.
You can also double tap C to change it between like up and ready to fire and like waving around, which changes stamina use, I think.
Certainly can.
Now tail, there's a couple of things. Well, actually, let me just TP you guys, and then let's think about it over there.
Okay. Stay in our area for TP, please.
Whoa.
Okay, we are in a hostile environment. There are contacts to our north. Tail, there's two ways you can do this. We can, so you want to leave the group first,
Sure.
and then join my group. Then what I can do is I can hide Zeus, so you can actually walk around and observe in real time.
Okay.
You will be invisible, but they'll still be able to hear you.
Okay.
So you want to do that?
Sure.
All right.
Be helpful, actually.
Who's our medic?
Hi there.
Okay.
Demon Slayer is your medic currently.
You need to
Okay.
actually go into Zeus and hide yourself.
Ah.
So it'll be
Better.
modules, Zeus, and then hide Zeus, and then yes. You can still hear my voice, all of you, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm trying
I
to tell
can
you
still
exact
hear your
location
voice.
based off of it. I think you're like right here.
Yeah.
I also don't have access to Zeus in my current format.
You should. You're in the Zeus slot.
Yeah, I know. That's weird. A little confused.
Wait, what?
Usually between medical and gestures.
You are Zeus, so try it again. Press the normal Zeus key, which is like Y, I think.
There we go.
Alright, cool. Alright, Lucifer, get yourself set up. We're about to go.
Okay. Dark, stick with
Did you figure out? Are you hidden?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm figuring it.
Zeus, hide
Micah, you're
Zeus.
gonna be my second in command. Demon, I want you. When we move out, I want you at the back of the squad. Have
Copy.
your second back. Got it. Okay, we're all set.
Yes, no?
Yeah.
I think I got it.
Alright, go ahead and take them out.
Got it.
Contacts are in the building marked.
Okay. Weapons up.
Dragon, am I supposed to still be able to see myself?
No.
That sounds slightly disconcerting. Go Dark.
Dragon, stay with them. I'm gonna have to figure it out. I can still see myself. Oh, okay.
Let's go.
That one.
Enemies in the front.
I still hit you. Tourniqueting arm.
Someone cover this door.
Dark, come cover this corner.
Hey, medic, you want to heal me up?
Well, yeah, I need to get him on cover first. Don't move.
Use the backup building as cover.
Ooh, that's fast.
Yeah, I'll take my tourniquet off so I keep it. Moving tourniquet. Thank you, demon.
Wait, no, not. Yeah. Stop wiggling.
What you doing?
Morphine and then giving you a little bit of blood.
Lucy, real quick.
Yeah.
Copy.
Him looking through the door isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's the opening is potentially helpful, but once he opens it, he can't move from it. He has to stay on his
You
face.
trying to get yourself shot again while I'm healing you?
Okay.
No, the dude was still alive, so I was putting around in his head.
Oh. Give me 250 milliliters.
Okay.
Essentially, what's going to cover this side.
Fair.
Okay, let's follow him with the
In
squad.
this case, I probably want you
Copy.
to hold behind the door
Dark, fall with us.
so that they can at least continue to hold
Enemy
security on
taken
that
out.
door
Got it.
while you're not in danger of having somebody come out and shoot you in the back.
Got it.
Dark,
Anyway,
come all the way around the corner and then just watch the corner.
Demon, can I get a B?
Epi, on Lucy?
Yep.
You mean morphine?
Yeah, morphine.
I'll hold this corner.
You're gonna need two, so hold one.
Okay.
No, I did see active enemies inside.
And I'm gonna give you a little bit of blood.
Becca, keep
Blood going
watching
in.
that way. If you have that corner, you have to keep watching that corner.
I know what sorry about.
That's part of the responsibility. If you're gonna hold that corner, you have
Okay,
to.
it's going in now.
And that's why.
You good?
Okay. Be ready, breach. MP, you should go in last.
Becca, what should you have said?
Oh,
The door's
contact.
gonna open towards you.
Got it.
One
So-
dead infantry.
Tell you what, I will open the door. You get ready to
Ready.
infill.
Breaching.
Following in.
First floor clear.
Two enemies KIA first floor. Push second.
Pushing second.
Watching back the stairs. One enemy in room. Checking room. Check alcove.
Make sure to double tap.
Yep, double tap. They'll all look like dog. Who got hurt?
Lucy.
Copy. Hold first floor. Medical lane, Lucy.
Alright, who's on first?
Tourniqueting them, bandaging so you don't lose too much blood.
Alright, I've secured the
Mecca,
stairs.
once they came in, you should have probably collapsed inside of the building as well.
Or
because
I'm
there's not enough
already
outside
out of.
to protect
One
you
second.
in the outer
You
floor.
are all healed.
Understood.
Head up
Alright.
to the second floor.
You guys are all healed. Good job. So,
Don't move. I need my tourniquet back.
A couple
Is
of
it me
things.
or is my gun is not firing?
Is your safe
Uh,
on?
Yeah,
I
take
think
Is
it
your
out
safe
of
on? Are you jammed?
Control
what are the
R
others?
or Shift R.
I was surprised that I could not shoot through the door.
I think you just missed.
Fairly possible he was to the left of the door when I thought he was just directly behind it.
Also, you have a 5.56 weapon and he has a 7.62, so
Nothing. Not a
you're
squat.
still not able to shoot.
Not a squat.
When you press F at the top right, do you have a 1 bar or do you have multiple bars?
I have 1 bar.
Okay,
I
then
have
shoot at the wall. Not by friendlies. Yeah, just shoot somewhere.
Okay,
See?
cool. We're working.
Okay. Alright. 30 seconds and then the hostiles will be spawned at the other location, so hold.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
I want to just cover a little bit of after action of what I saw. So we'll start with positioning. When Hemp pushed all the way to the opposite side of the door and then was covering it, he technically wasn't wrong because he's the one man. It's important for the people around him to also be active in holding security, though. Maybe a little overzealous on the initiative, given that you had a medical issue coming in and approaching the building. Next, Once there was security in place and the door was breached, Mecca did not get pulled inside with the rest of the people. Now, if this was a bigger group, that wouldn't be a problem, but you don't have enough people for outer cordon and inner cordon for the security. He was out there alone. Bad idea. That's basically him dying. Granted, once he held his corner, he did kill one infantry coming around the way while you guys were about to breach, which was important and good. Next, jamming up in the stairwell from the positions that you guys were engaging from. Do not stop when you start getting hit. Continue to fight your way into the upstairs. Because if you stop, all of the people behind you stop. Because they can't go through you or they have to shoot through you. And that's bad in every way.
Yeah, I think I was a bit close to accidentally headshotting a teammate there because someone went down the stairs in front of me as I was trying to clear the second enemy.
It's very important, vitally important even, that if you're pushing up the stairs and you're taking contact, die on the second floor. Don't die on the stairs. Don't die on the first floor because you fell back down. Die on the second floor because anybody else who has to get up behind you cannot fight through your body. They can climb over it if you're down and keep fighting and killing the people who are up here that need to die. But stopping on the stairs will basically guarantee that if they have a grenade, they're going to throw it there and just laugh while you guys go boom. Food for thought. Once you did get up here onto the second floor, good initiative attempting to engage the guy in the room behind the closed door when he started shooting. I saw some difficulty there. You fought through it. That was good. I was pleased to see that nobody left the alcove completely unwatched at any given time, though I would have preferred there be somebody dedicatedly covering it once you had all come up here. The fact that there was, at least to some degree, autonomous, unconscious coverage of that space was good, but more intent next time would be better for all of you. That's all I've got for constructive criticism for this one. There were some very good actions coming up to, especially with dealing with the medical situation. Medic did not immediately attend to the person who was injured until they had security in place. It was all good to go.
Yeah. And then another thing to note, you don't always have to just stop immediately and immediately bandage yourself up. You are able to fight and can continuously fight for quite a bit of while. So keep that in mind, that there might be instances where you are hit, but you just need to keep moving regardless of it. But yeah, same things as Tail said. Now, this next objective, very similar. Hostiles inside of a building, Boko Haram types. You guys should have plenty of ammo. Key things to keep in mind. This is a school building. There are long corridors. Hostiles will attempt to move around inside of the building and potentially come outside of the building. It is very important that you guys are going through methodically, clearing things, covering each other. Just remember what we trained on in that. Remember that big ass building? God,
The resort.
The resort building. Same kind of concepts will be very crucial here. But yeah, so 30 seconds until they spawn, and then I will come back and let you know when it's ready.
Got it.
Lucy, since you're the TL, remember you're moving through urban terrain and you've already encountered hostile contact. Make sure you take actions to guard the approach of your squad onto the target objective.
Got it. Okay, I drew up a path I want us to take when on our way to the next objective.
I really hope they don't have an RPG pointed at that gas station.
That'd be unfortunate.
God damn it, I just gave someone an idea.
Flame demon.
You gave Tail an idea.
I
Flame
mean,
demon.
I'm not the one who's spawning in the enemies. I'm just laughing that you're recognizing the danger.
So that's a
Welcome
good
to
laugh
the terror
then?
that is Mount.
You know-
Of
you know,
course.
if this was 40k, I'd shoot you myself for heresy.
What? What, you think you're a commissar now? You're just a guardsman, guardian. Shut up and soldier, soldier.
Wouldn't it be cowardly?
Alright, hostiles are set. You guys are clear to move.
Got it.
All right, gentlemen.
He's not running away, so it's
Okay.
not cowardice.
Head first floor.
Yeah, but I've heard commissars can be a bit trigger happy.
Only in the grimmest and darkest of 40k's futures.
Isn't that all of 40k?
Not necessarily. Depends on what you're reading.
Oh, lately I've just been reading the All Guardsmen Party because it's fun.
Let's head out. Hemp.
Yes.
First. Go first. Mecha next.
Dark file in.
Dark. Follow me.
Fall him last.
Okay.
Waiting for everybody to bound.
Use
Rubber
back
band
at the
closes.
buildings to get a indirect pathway so we're
Okay,
not
look, here's Zeus,
spotted
I see your
and we're in
ghostly
cover
footprints.
while approaching. Okay, we're headed off from this east side of the building. Dark, lead off.
Bounding.
What building do you want to head to?
Cross the street. Okay, we're moving across the street west.
Copy, covering. Keep going. I'll cover.
On your high, demon.
Copy.
With you.
That means don't stand up.
Yeah. Or even get a bit lower.
Dark Knight, you are bounding over. At
Okay,
this
Hemp,
point,
go.
Hemp, you should pick up the security on the eastern side.
One contact on
not,
roof.
Not run down there. Like hold next to Demon. And, like just watch towards the east, because
One contact dead roof.
Next person, cross.
Damon's
Demon,
crossing.
One more contact dead in school.
Last person, cross.
I'm covering for you, Hemp.
Okay, Hemp, can you cover us while we move up to the gas station?
Hey, from
Dark,
Becca, prepare to switch out.
Dark,
Copy.
stay with Hemp.
Who am I switching with?
Hemp.
Copy.
Your machine
Mhm.
gun is going to take that position.
That is a much better position for him.
Okay, Mech, lead off to gas station.
RPG.
Okay.
Do you have visual?
Negative. Just saw the ghost trail, heard the explosion.
Bounding.
Going.
Hearing fire, not seeing anything.
Dark bound. Damon's
Demon,
bounding.
you should be
Demon, cross.
Yep.
when you get across. What do
Like
you
I'm above
say?
you.
Oh, copy.
Crossed. Hemp, go.
Okay,
No visual.
Mech, move up to gas station.
Copy.
Demon, you go third.
Copy. Damon's moving.
At gas station next.
Dark, stay with hemp.
RPG on rooftop. Target's down.
No VU mech. That'd be good. Stay down.
Watch your machine gunner's back, but also pull the
Should I move them up?
I'd move hemp first.
Watch north. Do not presume
Or
on-
yeah, I don't know. But you should probably
To
move
us
at least
or
one
the
up.
School building.
To us and then to school, because we haven't cleared for even first floor of the school, so you gotta be careful
if
on
I
it.
may throw my 2 cents in, the building to our right might be a better
call
position
out
to
whatever
assault
you
from.
need or need.
Also a good
Since we're
point.
not bunched together.
Got it.
Now,
Hemp
conducting that.
and Dark Knight move up to us.
Switching on to
Remember,
over
one
you,
at a time.
Lucy.
Roger.
Holding last known hostile spot.
Take a shot.
Hostile down. Freaking lamppost blocked my shots.
Hemp move up to Dark Knight.
Man in door, blue hat. Permission fire.
Fire. Okay, Micah, move up to the left side of that open door.
Anyone injured?
Wait,
Bounding.
For now.
Next.
crossing.
Throwing a frag in.
Damon's moving. Hi, that was a bad spot.
Hi. Yes. Watch
It
our
got me
windows.
stuck on Lucy's. I'm on your rear, mech.
Dark Knight, at this point, who should be watching that building out of the two of you? Yeah. He's space fire. You need to be watching his back, so watch the direction that you guys came from.
Hey, Demon, you're the
Okay.
medic. I'll take.
Yeah. Anyone injured? Oh, invisible footprints. I was like, are those gunshots?
Okay, Dark and Hemp, move up to us. We're going to be entering from the south side of the building.
Both
Round
of
up,
you
Dark.
go at the same time.
Hemp set.
Hemp, did you get hit at all when you moved?
I got hit from when I was covering further far back. I'm good now.
Okay, guys,
Copy.
we're going to be entering from the south side, not the middle, since I want to have a clear eye on the hallway.
Copy.
So let's push south side.
Pull
Collapse
back.
your security back.
Stay low
watching
below the
that
windows,
door.
just so you know.
If something comes out that door and it's not us, it's getting shot.
For that move,
Keep
like
moving
5
back, Meg.
meters, and then look back. Make a move quick.
Doesn't inside the building. Oh, it's so dark. Wait, no. Lucy's the one that's hit. Hold still,
Yeah.
Lucy.
I'm getting my head.
Copy. Tourniqueting your
Stay in that
arm.
position. That's a good place for security right now. Dark
And
Knight,
if anyone moves
how
in
could
that
you
hall, shoot.
potentially put more of your body to watch that sector without exposing yourself in cover? There you
Bandaging.
go. That's a good job. Thank you. That is great.
Check your mags.
First box amber.
Lucy, this would be a good time to
Moving
make sure that
tourniquet, then
everybody
pushing
is
morphine
with you
and blood.
Also, green on ammo, etc.
Got it. How's
I will reload once you're done medicing.
okay? I'm done.
Nope, you're not.
Oh.
Oh, or are you? Yeah, I think you got some other healed.
Okay.
Alright.
Reload.
Somebody cover the hallway.
Yep.
Reloading.
Covering.
Damon's above you.
Got it.
That-
Okay, Demon, take Dark Knight position. Dark
Copy.
Knight, you're going to be moving in on with me. Hemp, cover hallway. You're going to be keeping the eye on hallway. Got it?
Very exposed right now, Demon. You know why? Because you're
why?
not leaning or shouldering your weapon on your left side.
I mean, I am leaning, but yeah, I need his shoulder.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nade?
Hey,
If you're injured, fall out of building.
dumb luck. Oh my god. Okay, keep it moving. Dark Knight, how are you medically?
Hemp, did you take a hit?
Yeah, I took shrapnel.
Oh boy.
okay, collapsing.
Hemp, you go first. Dark, or Mech, you next. Mech, switch with me. Hold veer. Where'd Hemp go?
Contact, window, dead.
You good, Hemp?
Dark Knight needs help.
Getting better.
Dark Knight, get in this middle room and get
Worry about dealing
patched
with
up.
Dark Knight.
Copy. Finish this last. Yep. Dark, fall into the room. Like, into the room. Okay, now stop moving. What the heck? It says I can drag or carry you like you're down.
That's probably because you're on the drag or carry list. I got this. Demon, do me a favor. Look in your inventory. Do you have
Do I have what?
a personal aid kit?
I
as part
believe
of
I
your
have
kit?
one, yes.
Okay. All right, you've made some progress, but you've stalled.
Oh.
Keep it rolling.
Okay,
Dragon, you're stealing all my healing.
Mac and Dark, I want you to clear the rest of the first floor. Everyone else cover to the hallway.
Copy. Dark on me.
Alright, and behind.
Can't open these doors. Okay. Can't open the door.
Looks like you can't open any of those doors, so
But there's an inside to this one, which is weird.
Okay, if you can't open the door, we're going to be breaching second floor.
Copy.
Dark, Dark and Mac, prepare to breach second floor.
Copy.
I'll be
Moving.
tossing a.
Copy.
I'll be throwing a
Outside.
flashbang up there.
Can I
Like-
get a? How about a full nade? Flash or full nade?
Flash.
How?
you're gonna be using flashbangs inside of these quarters because friendly.
Nade,
forces
nade.
Bad
Oh shit.
Fall back.
don't- Ooh, that's bad.
Mecha's down. Someone cover me.
Mass casualty situation. You're gonna need to deal with that hostage.
Okay. Someone pull Mecha into that.
Moving
middle room.
Mecha into the hall.
Upstairs. Move.
Throwing stun grenade in middle room.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Damon, he's gonna need some help medicaling people. Clean himself.
Camp, go down and help.
I got him.
Trying to get his limbs. You trying to get his limbs and then work on his chest? I'm gonna make sure I don't die.
Yeah, and I can also use medical as well, but it's not as bad.
Dark cover.
You know how triage works, right?
Never mind.
I think we might have just gotten full healed.
We got both healed.
Does that mean I lost my tourniquets? Oh, it's still Meg. Yeah, I lost my tourniquets.
Alright, are we gonna continue these back two rooms?
Yeah, one.
Let's move upstairs.
Another
Upstairs,
person up here.
Alright.
Moving upstairs. Holding hall.
Clear.
It's clear,
Hey.
guys.
Chill.
Gentlemen, it's clear.
Stand down.
Okay.
Couple of big things. Number one, frags. We are not either seeing them or calling them out. I'm not sure which one.
I saw. I tried to call out the frag because I saw it land at the bottom of the stairs. I just don't think I caught it in time.
No, you did not. So, good attempt. Other thing, I'm concerned about people not paying attention to see if a gun is sticking out on a wall. And so to demonstrate this, wait one. Everybody go to the first floor. Go stand over there in that hallway.
The one filled with bloody rags.
Do you see my gun barrel?
No.
No.
No. And I'm looking for one. Now I
Do you see
do.
my gun barrel?
Yep.
Not really.
Yes.
How much
Yes.
of my gun barrel do you see?
I see
Entire muzzle
suppressor
silencer
and
to your front
anything that's
sight.
not in your shroud.
One at a time, please, gentlemen.
I see your front sight forward, and that's when I'm hugging the left wall and leaning.
Okay. What about somebody on the right hand side? Right hand wall. What can you see?
Front end, barrel, suppressor, and a little bit of your flashlight.
Okay.
Laser.
Now, the person on the left hand, keep moving up. Stop. Dark Knight, I believe you were the one who got shot right here, right?
No, I did not.
Alright, whoever it was,
It looked like it. I thought so.
yeah, whoever it was, that was a really bad mistake. A, because the guy's muzzle was sticking out a little bit, and B, we didn't check this side. If you all back up here, there's two sides of this hallway, a left side and a right side. You're walking up here, the guy over here can basically almost see into that room, and also into this job.
Get
As
that
this
room.
the lead
Two hold
person.
those doors.
Get to the
Exactly.
right. Watch the right.
The person who was set to prone in the middle of the hallway is doing what?
Watching the
Middle.
front of hallway.
Watching the hallway, correct. The guy over here is doing what?
Watching right. I mean left.
Watching left.
Watching left.
Watching left.
Watching the hallway, assisting with that. What can this guy not do?
Watch right.
Exactly. The person here has better angles on the right hand side, excuse me. Go ahead and try it out right now. If you didn't get a chance to, go ahead and see what the difference is being on the left and right hand side and how big of an impact that could be on a guy sitting right here full auto AK, just. Brrr. But you on the right hand side cannot see this guy that well, but you on the left hand side of the wall can. So it's important to know when you're clearing something, what angles you are strongest at and what angles you are weak at.
People need
These
to
are
play some
transferable
Siege.
skills. Yeah, exactly. These are transferable skills. You can do the same exact thing in Siege, PUBG, whatever else. It is really, really silly for
Well, man,
you
sorry, Brain.
as a right hand guy to attempt to try and clear this side of the room without having a guy here on the left at least being able to see and peek. You will lose that every single time.
Moreover, when we got to this part where Lucy is currently standing where you were engaged from,
Right.
what ended up happening was, I guess, a lot of his shots ended up impacting into the wall because I was seeing a lot of rate of fire, but we still managed to have like Dark Knight move into this room that's across from there, go through here, kill the guy that's in here, and then have the grenade that this guy threw that ended up in the bridge between these two doors. His own grenade killed him. None of you killed him. None of you even engaged him. He died because his own grenade fucked him.
I'd also point out we definitely spent too long sitting at the base of the stairs discussing what grenade to throw up the stairs.
Yes.
For future reference, and we covered this briefly, at least to some extent, during the big CQB lecture that I gave that bored the shit out of all of you. And I know it did. I listened to the video. Let's not revisit. So whoever gets to the stairs first, it is your job. You are the one man. You have the initiative. You start going up those stairs. If you're gonna flashbang, say frag out. Doesn't have to be a frag. It just means that you're throwing an offensive projectile up there
And
to
that
prepare it for your breach.
I wanted
remind you all.
I wanted to bring it to attention real quick because I don't think anyone else noticed it, but I did, because you see the recording, you'll see it. I did make a mistake because when I finally got here, you know, the grenade had gone off, mech was down, everyone else was injured and like disorganized. I just stepped up to here, leaned, and chucked a grenade into that hole. I just forgot to call it out, which I really needed to. That was my mistake. I needed to call it out, but I just leaned up, chucked grenade, came back down, and grabbed mech.
You change nades by Control G.
Yeah, you Control G to change names, and I think if you hit Shift G, you can
It brings
get
up
like
the
an
ace.
approximated arc.
Yeah, it brings up the ace throwing, which is nice, but it's not very useful for quick things. Just to remind everybody here, there are no civilians, and this is only the building that hostiles will be present in. You essentially should gather two things from that information. Anything you see is hostile, and use of offensive ordnance is completely okay.
Legit.
Smoke. Smoke. So I clicked the wrong thing. I was trying to scroll and I clicked.
Demon, get that shit out of here, please.
Yep.
Alright, I
Thank
will
you.
be moving a rearm box in here so we just have plenty of ammo resupply. Then we'll be moving on to the tertiary objective. You're fine. Give me 30 seconds to bring a box over.
Couple other things while he does his administrative end of this. Again, one man who gets here, it is your job to push. You don't all need to like stand here and examine it. You need one person for security, another person to go up it, and another person to have their back.
I'd also
That's
point
all
out.
that has to happen.
I'd also point out that if you're the second person, you can see the first person hesitating. Tell them to push and tell them you have their back.
Push.
User joined
I'm
your
with
channel.
you. Push.
Yeah,
Lucy's
that.
with you. Push. Demon's with you. Push. Hemp is
User
with you.
left your channel.
Alright, I definitely want to make this harder as it goes on. This will be the last objective with Boko Haram hostiles. The building is a hotel building. You will have about the same amount of people, plus maybe 2 or 3 or 4. Please get yourselves rearmed right now, and whenever you're done, assume that there'll be hostiles in the other place, or unless you have some other plagues to touch on. Tail.
we did good on the approach to target for the most part. The approach to this target, machine gun should always be in the middle of your formation because it can then respond most flexibly. Be used in. Cannot use, can, but you're putting yourself at a serious disadvantage. Your machine gunner on one end or the other of any given formation. Because they are the base of fire, they should only be moving once everybody else is set, and they should never be left alone. That's why they have an assistant. Buddy team bounding is important in these urban situations, because if you're leaving one man alone in an urban space, if Mech is at the back end of that hall watching security out towards the hallway door, and Lucy is his buddy, but he's in the lobby, and for some reason somebody has like breached in through a window and comes between you two, Lucy's not going to know I shot him in the back of the head until my gun fires. Neither is he. That's the price of moving alone in these circumstances. You can do it. You can even be successful. But right now we're operating in a very bubble situation where your hostiles are predetermined. You know where your threats are coming from, and you have a solid idea that you're not going to face any external threats on your way to those other objectives. So make sure you're moving in buddy pairs. Make sure you're bounding or you're patrolling in a staggered column so that you've got space and clear lines of fire. And then make sure that when you're set, you're communicating with each other to let the next person know that they can move. Otherwise, they're just going to stand there.
Yeah, sorry. Just for the next objective, you will be fighting 2 squads in garrison formation position, whatever you want to call it, at the hotel building. Are there any other questions, concerns, anything you feel like you need to ask?
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Throw it
Keep
out.
movement through open space. Either make it quick or in a formation, not a line.
Good way to get everybody who's in between each other shot.
Not only that, if I'm an enemy machine gunner, what's going to happen with a line?
You're gonna shoot at the
That's fucking
front one and
machine
let your
gunner
recoil
dinner
do
right
it.
there. That is machine gunner dinner.
How do you
That
open and
is-
close these doors?
You can't.
You can't. They're permanently open.
Honestly, a lot of schools have
Right.
doors like that. That makes sense.
Lucy, make sure that you are ready to step your guys off. You know where your next objective is. Keep the constructive criticism in mind. You guys are doing pretty well so far. I'm seeing improvements. Let's keep seeing improvements.
Got it.
Oh wait, I
Alright.
forgot to grab another.
Hostiles are about to be spawned. 30 seconds, I will let you know when you're clear to move.
Make sure you have fresh mag in.
Ah, yes. Press the R button.
What? I never do that.
I physically go grab a magazine before I reload, you know?
They now have grenades again. They might
Demons.
come in handy.
Since you're our medic, I want you to stick to the very baggage squad. Got it?
Copy.
If you go
Okay.
down, we're screwed.
Yeah, it's usually not
Okay.
good when your mech goes down.
Similar to this building, hostiles are going to be positioned all over, including the roof. There are no hostiles outside. They are supposed to be garrisoned within these bounds. You are free to move.
Got it.
No civilians. Everything inside is hostile.
Okay. Me and Meg are going to be moving up north through this door to the office building. One guy on the roof. Got it.
Copy.
Hemp and Dark Knight cover, and then we'll call you 3 over. Got it?
Confirm.
Okay, moving
Yeah.
up.
This is a rock.
I'm gonna stay behind the door.
Okay.
Very exposed.
Dark and hemp, move up.
Move.
Moving.
Mecca, you should be engaging from cover if at all possible.
Hey, Demon, get the far side of it.
Anyone injured?
Yeah, I am.
No.
Who's injured?
Tempest.
Medic attempt to him.
Copy. Someone cover east side. Going for your head.
Hey, I'm gonna go cover east.
Yeah, go
There's
ahead.
I got east right now.
Talking about the east side of the building since.
Oh, okay.
Are you going alone? Because why would you do that?
Just get the long side that we're on, and you'll be set.
I'll just under high.
Tell me when he's ready, go.
Your torso does not want to get. Oh, okay. Pushing morphine.
No, you don't need to push morphine. All you need to do is go to the advanced treatments and use it.
RPG.
That was a nade.
Grenade.
Okay, now more people are hurt.
I got the corner.
What would you maybe do in this?
Yeah, pull into building.
Reaching.
Go Hamp, I'll cover. Falling in.
Last man going in.
Closing door. Sorry, did I accidentally lock you out, tail?
No, you're fine.
Reaching.
Covering.
DCP would be good in that room.
Okay,
Guys.
Demon
Show them on me.
CCP is in.
Trying to cover. Oh.
Copy. It's been cleared, right?
Medical, go
It's
in
been
there.
cleared.
Mecca,
Who needs medical?
I need medical bad.
Dark and Hemp covered in front of us.
Okay,
Remember, you
one
can
sec.
press H to use the medical menu.
Yes, give me one of that.
We got some bandage. Dark Hemp.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Removing tourniquets and pushing morphine.
Copy.
Also lost a lot of blood.
Yeah, I'm gonna push blood after. Or should I do blood after or before morphine?
You should do blood before morphine because it's gonna lower his heart rate.
Copy. So pushing blood. Gonna give you a 1,000. Gonna be nice and full of blood. Don't lose it. I want it back after the mission.
Remember, human body has the capacity to lose 2,500 roughly milliliters of blood. That's when you start to lose a fatal amount.
That is a lot of blood to lose.
It is, but it's 100% that you're probably gonna die at that point.
Pushing another
Check
250.
anything- Nope, hang on, stop. What else do you see under your advanced treatments?
Personal aid kit, will that just fix it all?
Yes. Whenever possible, use that. Saves your
Fun fact.
resources.
I
Copy.
don't have any bandages on me. I only had 2.
Okay, should be good.
Check my backpack.
Hold still.
Horde 1 treating self now.
Am I free to go?
Yes.
Mech is back in action.
Okay,
Oh dang it, I forgot to take my tourniquet off from first,
Mecca
didn't I?
and Dark Knight move Crouch Street.
Yeah, I don't know what
Do
tourniquet.
that wall.
Copy. On you, Dark.
Which wall?
The perimeter wall.
think top of that building.
It can't hit us. Let's just go.
Coming from inside.
As far as I can tell, it can't hit us. But be wary.
Cross. Okay, next is gonna be demon and me.
Copy.
Demon
Ready?
Go.
Bounding.
Crossing. Okay, hemp, move across.
If
Dark
he's
on high.
suppressing and you asked him to move, what should you all be doing? All right, he's set. In the future, do not ever
Reloading.
leave suppression up without picking it up for your machine gunner. It means that you're all moving, and that means they're probably going to try and kill him.
Got it.
You Lucy, I'm holding that side. You
No.
go do other
Told
stuff.
you just
Okay.
watch.
Breach.
Everybody should fall in on this one.
We have blood.
Hey, being near windows are bad. So, fast and smooth.
Okay, you three clear this side.
Cover that second door.
Want us to push in?
Yep, push. Okay.
He went
dark.
on you.
Pushing in.
Turn
Hemp to
left.
the right. We got a ladder in this room.
Room's clear. We got room there first. I'll keep an eye on the ladder.
Copy. Hemp, you good? You
Make
take a
sure
shot there.
I'm good. I'm good.
Copy. I'll push out first. Going right. You watch straight. Ready?
Alright, I'm on your high.
Pushing.
Go, go.
Nice.
Took a hit though.
Anybody communicated at all with your team leader?
East side clear. First floor.
Got it. West side almost clear.
Second door.
Oh, I didn't even see that door.
First floor clear.
Get that corner behind me.
That's
Hey,
the first
no
time I've
ladder.
ever seen the fetal position in this game.
Okay, I got behind you. Hemp.
Jesus, not to...
1 sec. Damon needs to medical.
Alright.
Yeah,
Got
go ahead.
stairs on my position.
Pull
On you,
security outside if you're not pulling
Why can I only sometimes use advanced?
Depends on what you're selecting on the body part at the time.
Oh, I just went straight into the medical menu. And advanced
I
just wasn't there.
Alright, who's on my side?
Well, if you don't have any advanced
Mech.
treatments available, it won't let you select it. For instance, if you're trying to select your chest cavity, you can't give
Over there
blood.
with Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Make sure that far corner. That
You can't do it on your head.
there's no other rooms around that corner.
I mean,
Oh,
that
this
what?
for
What? I
advanced
can't just stick my blood straight into my brain.
We cleared that side.
Stay firm.
It's a very complicated question to answer, and I'm not going to do it right now.
Makes sense.
Alright, I'm pushing in.
Pushing in with you.
Keeping an eye on the stairs.
We're in the stairwell.
Heart rate's good.
Okay. Hold stairwell.
Let's stop here.
Holding at the
Right.
bottom of the stairs.
All right, you can use
Got
your
it.
personal aid kit. I suggest you do.
Back it down.
Oh boy. So what are the restrictions for personal aid kit? Because it only seems to pop up if I'm like lightly wounded, not heavily.
Need a medic in the stairs.
Copy.
Go.
Dark Knight, you can
God damn it,
go
it's the
seek
other
security
side of
from
him.
stores, but you don't have to like. Move
No, not
around
you. I was
to
talking to
do
myself.
so.
It got me stuck on him. I'm pulling them further in.
There.
Nade, nade. Smoke. Okay. I did not hear call out for smoke.
Nate. Nate.
That's a copy on nade.
You're still not safe there, Lucy. Need to push out of the stairs entirely.
Dark.
Temp, you're actually in a
Covered
good
stairs.
position, so stay there.
Covers that. Nope. Down there.
Dark, no. It's not what he asked you to do.
I'm benching.
Just watch the stairs from that location.
Okay.
You want to make sure that you've got good cover, because you've already been fragged twice from that direction. So fun to see you guys experiencing the bloody mess that is urban combat.
Yeah. Tough.
Yeah, I've got damage on me.
How's he doing?
Mecha's still down. I'm losing blood fast. I just gave him blood, so hopefully he won't die in the next few seconds. But I need to bandage myself real quick.
Medic needs to take care of himself. That's the way it goes. Sometimes. Alright, Mecha. Don't worry. Take care of you.
Yeah, I just tried to get his limbs to stop bleeding, and then I put a few on his torso, and then I gave him 1,000 milliliters of blood because he was losing fatal amounts of blood.
Well, did you add that blood through a cavity that is currently tourniqueted?
No, I did it to his one torso, his one limb that is not tourniqueted.
Good call, good call.
Is it weird or your footsteps?
If you can hear the enemy's
Very
footsteps,
well.
then you should know where they are. Cool, I'm not gonna die in an idiot now.
Alright, then what should you do?
Finish his non-tourniqueted stuff so that he doesn't fully die.
Security's over here bleeding. Just so you know.
Frag.
And I just got shot through a...
Frag.
Lucy, how you doing?
I don't know if you got shot through a wall, demon.
Crap. Our medic is down.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I got him. How in the hell?
Does anybody know where Lucy was?
Why is Lucy all the way over here?
Is he down?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
That hurt.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
So I had
Ow. Ow.
Consolidate in the lobby where you guys came in.
That hurt.
Hello?
Hi. Hold still.
You here?
Hold still. Thank you.
Okay, back into the lobby, like I asked, please.
Official lobby's over here. That hurt.
Okay, so for the purposes of the exercise, we're going to call that a stall in your progress to effectively assault. You got hung up in the place where most people ending up in these situations get hung up. You had a mass casualty event in a stairwell.
And then they kept chucking
And,
grenades down it.
Yes, and they will. And any intelligent defender would frag you out of existence if they could get their hands on enough grenades to do it with. So, things we've learned. Stairwells are fucking rough. Eh?
I got so surprised by that dude that it threw my aim off.
You gotta
It'll
expect
happen.
stuff like that. Like, it's gonna happen, but you have to expect people to be in the places where you wouldn't expect them to be. If purely for the basis of where else would you want to hide? Like, Demon, you're raising a good point. It would be better to not treat a mass casualty event in the same kill zone as that mass casualty event happened. But
So, remember when I said
called
that
for
when
that.
when a person is downed, there's a reason that they're down, and you need to make sure that it's safe and secure before you take up their position? That's what I'm talking about. There's a reason that guy went down. You might not know it. You might know it. It really doesn't matter, because until you can, effectively either counter whatever they're going to do, aka throw grenades, aka shoot an RPG, do something. I mean, there's really sometimes you just gotta take a second and look at the guy who's down and be like, okay, I'll get you up as soon as I can. I just can't step in this place because I don't know if they're gonna throw a grenade.
Do you have a quick question for
Yes.
Dragon or Tail, who would have had the best view? Did either of you see what actually shot me there? Because to me, it seemed like I got shot either through the ceiling or through a wall.
It is possible that you got hit through a wall when a PKP personnel. See, the funny thing is, actually, I was going to mention this. Dark is probably the only one who's paying attention to sounds and calling out when hostiles are moving. And he called out when he said, hey, I think I hear somebody moving. And, sure, we can assume that it's probably upstairs or whatever else. But when that happens, you really have to keep that in mind. And especially when there's a ladder system as well as a stairwell system. Now, I made sure to be very specific in what I said. There's hostiles inside of this compound, and they have to stay in the compound. I know one of you guys called out the ladder room. Yet, for some reason, nobody thought that bad guys could come down it. I believe Lucifer was the one who was holding that area, and he did a good job of turning around. Although, why would you chase him?
Here's my thinking. If he didn't go down, then he could have flanked from another side or the other side.
Not having full information of the area is part of that problem.
Yeah.
And that is a very fair assumption. And then my second question, when the guy was shooting through the wall, before you even got there, just kind of spraying all over the place, why did you peek that?
I don't know.
It's okay. In the moment, I'm pretty sure I've done going through practice and making sure I realize what I'm doing and stopping and slowing down. Does that eventually get fixed? It's really, really, really bad to get tunnel visioned and chase hostiles. Do you have grenades on you?
I realized that I grabbed practice grenades instead of
frags.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Okay, let's change that right now.
detrimental moment.
I carried a kitty grenade.
Go ahead and fix. Where the hell's the box? What the fuck?
It should still be at the.
Yeah, I
at
moved
the schoolhouse lobby. Here, I can fix this real fast.
I moved it.
Are people still up there?
taste almost for putting grenades in your backpack. Or at least
Yeah, I just heard grenade. I heard something explode. I didn't actually hear the first grenade bounce at all. I just heard it explode,
yeah.
and that hurt a lot.
There are a slew of grenades on the ground right now.
Oh,
Box.
So, not to pick on you, Lucy, but
yeah, go ahead.
the reason that he asked you and you were like, I don't know. You know the reason why that's okay? Why we're here. This is training for a reason. We are identifying failure points so that we can be conscious of them and address them for the future.
Did you get your stuff? This isn't a rearm opportunity. This is just for Lucy to get
Yeah.
his grenades.
There are also a slew of grenades on the ground here in case people need them. So, in that stairway situation, what would have been a good alternative to what ended up happening, which was essentially holding security from two different angles and attempting to medical?
Probably
Pull the downed out and immediately fall back to this.
yeah.
Not this. You had a
Two-
better position
two out-
nearby.
Two outside the doorway.
That lobby still served as a functional space that you could have used. There's even an enclosed deck area that's like within LOS of that space that you could have held, would have provided at least half cover to anybody who's standing, 3/4 to anybody who's kneeling. And you could have watched that entrance exit space from there. You had already cleared the first floor. You knew there were no other people who were on the first floor, and you would have been shot by anybody who was still on the outside of the building. All you have to do is watch that door, consolidate your wounded, fix them, carry on.
All right,
What's the next thing that you could have done to more effectively address that?
Finish pushing up and holding top of stairs. Or second floor.
Grenades.
Yep, that too.
I'm thinking specifically of grenades.
Flash grenades.
The guy threw a smoke first to make sure that you couldn't see him, and then he just gave you grenades. Nothing's stopping you from sending one back up, but there is difficulty in throwing a grenade upstairs versus throwing one downstairs.
My intent with the grenade was letting you guys know that, hey, you guys are doing something wrong if you're staying in the stairwell. That was the smoke. That was your first and last chance. Next time it will be grenades. These are hostiles. These are hostiles garrisoned. They are not trying to die. You are not trying to die. Whoever is better will survive. It's that simple. Are there any questions, comments, concerns?
It was my fault for not making sure that there wasn't another way down, because I didn't hear over the radio that there was
A ladder well.
a ladder well. So I take responsibility on not checking up on that.
And I will
shouldn't.
follow up. I will follow up because the person who called out the stairwell or the ladder well, that is key information that your squad leader needs to know for exactly this reason. Does that make sense? I'm now like, what is information that everybody needs to know versus what is information that, could be passed up just in voice? I'm very, very glad you brought up that point before I had to. That is information that the squad leader needs to know. So whoever actually found that, ladder well, and whoever called it out, first, good job calling it out. But now, let's improve on that, and let's make sure that we call that out over radio.
Yeah, I forgot to do that step on it.
Yeah, so that there's no excuse on, hey, we could be flanked. Alright, there are still hostiles in this building. You still need to clear it out.
Feel free to reform on those stairs. Feel free to help yourself to any of those grenades on the ground if you need extras. I will continue close observation of your problems.
Form up on the stairs.
Becca, where are you going? I said form up on the stairs, not go clear the stairs.
Okay, me and Mecca will clear the stairs while everyone else post security. Make sure that that ladder way we don't get flanked from it again. Demons, stay back as long as possible because I don't want you dying.
Copy. Hemp, switch with me.
Okay. Ready?
Yep.
Pushing.
Pushing.
Dark Knight, all you need to do if you're going to be watching that direction to guard that ladder well is to watch it.
One
You
down.
don't need to look back and forth.
Copy.
Whatever else is happening is
Holding
unimportant.
stairs.
The most important thing in the
Upstairs.
whole world is what's in that
Under
doorway.
high.
Got it.
Sounds good.
Okay, move up.
Moving.
Okay, darkness, follow the stairs.
We got 2 hallways branching off here. I hold in south.
Friendly's coming up.
Is anyone holding the west hallway?
Dark, switch with hemp.
There's also a room that has direct.
No, dark.
sight
Watch the stairs. He's right here. Yeah, watch the stairs. No, watch the upstairs. I'll watch down. Because then he can go help them clear.
Hemp cleared the room to our north.
Possible thing spotted through a wall to the south.
Wait, what?
Dark, just keep watching
it's
the upstairs.
just-
Yeah.
It just is behind. Okay.
Mecca, if you're watching that direction, hold it. Don't need to find out what's happening in the stairwell. Other people are watching that.
Yep.
That hallway is literally everything that's important to you. Anything else you need to know about, it'll be happening next to you.
Hemp, tell me when you're done.
You'll
clearing.
hear about it.
Northeast rooms and balcony clear.
Lucy, nobody should
Yeah.
be clearing rooms by themselves. How else will you know if they're dead or not?
Yeah. Okay, Hemp.
Yes.
Help me clear these rooms. Room clear. Mecca,
Balcony
hold
clear.
that hallway. We're going to be clearing the rooms around.
Continue holding my hallway. I'm holding.
Yep.
Copy.
That was a good question to ask
Clear.
because it could have been interpreted differently. So good job on asking that.
We have another ladderway here.
We have another ladderway. So, can I have one person, the person holding the downstairs, move up to here and hold it?
Where is here?
East
I found
hallway.
you.
Dark Knight, since you've lost
Wait,
your
hold.
security on the stairs down,
Hemp.
you should collapse
Yep.
back towards the doors that are right
Oh.
here and be watching the stairs from essentially the opposite side as Mecca. That way you're both together.
Balcony clear.
You're watching the danger area for him. He's watching a danger area for everybody else.
Ready?
They're clearing the rest of the area.
Room clear. Friendly's
Friendly's.
coming into west hallway.
Becca, at this point, you shift your coverage to
Wait,
doors on
Push-
the opposite
push into
side
room.
because they're now downrange of you. You're covering places that they
First
might
room
get
clear.
attacked from, but not like
room clear.
keeping your muzzle on them.
Balcony clear.
So like the door right here in front of me.
Door right in front of you is definitely a
Friendly's
good one.
pushing hallway.
That's friendlies coming out.
Got it.
My bad.
Also, you
Friendly's
don't need
pushing
to
in.
be watching that way because they've already cleared
Room
it.
clear.
Oh, okay.
Friendly's coming
That's
up.
how that circle works.
Okay. Floor clear.
Demon, are you still holding stairs?
Holding ladder.
Okay.
At this point, you would have him come back to you because A, he shouldn't be alone. B, if you're going to push up, you might as well all stay together. Even if something else is moving around this place and you don't know about it, that's why you're keeping security all the time.
Got it.
Demon, meet up at stairwell.
Copy. Howdy.
Dark and Mech, move up and clear stairwell.
On your high, Dark.
Hemp, I'll switch with you. You go.
Nothing seen yet. Ready to fall in? Going in.
Hi there, Tail.
Hello.
I heard the breath and I knew.
Is the stairwell?
Is the stairwell clear?
Copy. If you can move up one, we have no one holding the stairwell as we need to hold
Okay.
each other's back.
We're moving up.
Hemp, this would be your opportunity to correct that and say you are holding the stairwell.
Correction, Hemp is holding stairwell between second and third.
Okay, me and Demon pushing up.
Holding bottom stairs.
Got it. Mecca, let's clear the room to the north side.
Hey,
Up
Dark.
on your
Come switch with Hemp again. On stairs.
This room's clear. Second
Second
balcony.
room clear. Balcony clear.
Contact in the hallway.
Okay.
That might be a bigger priority check. But these need to be cleared first.
Pushing.
Pushing.
Room clear.
Yep, balloon's clear. Pushing out.
One contact down upstairs.
Hey, where's
Pushing room.
Demon? Is he needed right now?
Demon is currently holding the
Get the
downward
stairs.
stairs.
Hmm.
Mecca.
I'll hold this as we go in.
Pushing.
Pushing.
Room clear.
Room clear.
Balcony clear.
Copy.
Pushing out the room. Room clear.
Friendly's coming out.
Breaching.
Copy.
Room clear.
Copy.
Pushing out.
Ready to breach. Breaching. Ladder room.
Got a ladder room, same spot as the last one, but one floor up.
Demon, can you take up the position in the ladder room?
Copy. Hemp, fall back to door to stairs.
Hemp, I'm going to need you to push outside in hallway and cover both stairs.
Howdy.
Okay, let's move on. Breaching. Room clear. Checking balcony. Balcony and other room clear.
Friendly's coming out. Breaching. Okay, room's clear. Friendly's coming out. Friendly's on your other side. Friendly's down
Dark
hall.
Knight, now that you see that there are friendlies down there, direct your weapon towards
Breaching.
places that have not yet been cleared so that you can engage things that might still be dangerous to you, but not necessarily
clear.
Balcony clear.
dangerous
Friendly's coming out.
immediately. And now that they're there, you can hold the stairs with him.
Breaching.
Room clear.
Room clear. Friendly out. Okay,
Team-
floor's clear.
Demon, meet up at stairwell.
Copy. Falling back.
Alright, real quick. to avoid the situation that you've just run into again, instead of having 2 people continue to hold the stairs, have 1 person hold the stairs and 1 person hold the hallway, and have 3 people to clear these rooms with, because you're going to be doing security on the whole floor just by holding the stairs and that hallway. That way you don't have to have people shift out of position and then be alone for a long time just to get into position for the next position.
Got it.
All right, keep it up. You're doing good.
Start night temp. Reach to the 4th floor. Do not enter the main rooms.
We'll go there.
Okay, Mac, Demons, let's go.
Copy.
Okay. Enemy in other hallway.
So here, Mecha down.
In east room. Someone pull Mecha into. I'll cover.
What else might be useful in this situation?
Frag.
Dark move. Dark move.
Pull him in hole. Or stairway. Okay, what is everyone doing?
I'm
Dark
guarding the
side
hallway.
security.
Hamp's pulling security on first stairwell.
Got it.
Oh boy, this man does not have a leg anymore. He's gonna need a medic. Dane is medical lane.
Hearing footsteps.
Yeah, but it's hard to listen to the first episode now because we have 2 invisible people running. Oh, we got a casualty.
He's fully dead now.
I tried to save him. Wasn't fast enough.
Demons, I need banishing.
Copy. Hold where you are. Dark, keep watching your hallway.
Man down the hallway to the left.
This
Seagulls.
is a big.
I was pushing the blood into him that he needed to live as he died.
Grenade. Reloading.
Throw as many nades.
Nade out.
On your back, Lucy. Watching down the hall to your rear.
Something to be careful of, Lucifer. You're doing a lot of the like Rainbow Six dance, putting yourself in the way of fragmentation that could be coming back at you, that could kill you.
Okay.
Hey,
Just
Lucy, hold
find a
hall and
good
I'll check this
angle
room right
and
across
hold
from
it.
us.
Okay.
Enemy confirmed kill. Second room clear. End of hall clear.
Balcony.
Oh, there is a balcony here, isn't there?
There is.
Clear. Holding hall.
Okay, pushing room.
Copy. Pushing up with you.
Room clear.
Copy.
Breaching hall.
Pushing hall to second room. Breaching room on right. Room clear. I'll push
Breaching
across. You. Oh, never mind. Holding hallway.
hallway and both rooms clear.
Copy. Pushing up
Left.
hall. Breaching left room. Left room clear. Pushing back in the hallway. Pushing up hall.
Friendlies at other end of hallway.
Pushing across the breach.
Yep.
Room clear. Room clear. Balcony clear. Holding hall.
Breaching room.
Copy.
Room clear.
Copy. Did we breach these last two rooms right here?
I don't know. Did you?
Right room clear. In right, friendly in right room. Balcony clear. Floor clear.
Okay, we had one person in the hallway.
All con. Building is clear. I'm gonna TP everybody back. Wait one.
Just hold position here, gentlemen.
Great. Hey, Micah.
Hello. So, I pressed my pew button and no pews came out.
Oh. Yeah, all I know was that when you got to me, your chest was red, or was it your head? One of those was red, and your leg
was
was
his
gone.
leg.
Well, he had two red things, I think.
He got lit up.
Yeah,
So I tourniqueted your leg, and then I started trying to push blood, and as I started trying to push blood, you died.
So, we have flashbangs, right? And I intentionally did that for that 4th floor because I wanted you guys to get familiar with the location and realize that every single floor is basically the same, and that every single threat of every floor's threat is essentially going to be the same. You cannot walk out like that. Do you see why?
Yeah, now I do.
Okay. Other things to note, pretty good job on security. Lucifer realizing that the guy was continuously going left and right, and then just throwing the frag. Good stuff. Fragging the guy with the PKP in that room. Again, good stuff. It shows that you're taking the criticism and you're applying it directly, which is now. Other than those two things, I don't particularly have anything specific other than that. I want you guys to get kitted up again, and this time we'll be running the same 3 locations, but with
Dragon,
yes.
if you don't mind, before we just presume that's going to work out,
Yeah.
we've been at this for 2 hours 20 minutes.
Right.
We should probably call training here, to be totally honest, and
Yeah.
continue this as like a circuit for later.
That's fine. Yeah. So anybody who wants to stay, I guess we can keep training this, but otherwise, yeah, training is over.
Yeah, I'm a bit hungry.
So one
trust me,
paper.
shotgun stuff.
You can try it. Yeah, let's try it. See why it sucks. Anybody who has to go and leave, training is done though.
All right.
Real quick,
Lucy,
Lucy, I commend you for coming up with some pretty good strategies to clear that. I hope that the advice I gave you about the watching stairs, watching hall was worthwhile.
Yeah.
I'm glad that it started getting applied more. But I hope more out of like the entire evening that the individual actions that I've been stressing about, like hold your security, pick up a job, find something, report stuff, like just be autonomous and don't constantly ask somebody like, hey, what should I do? I'm seeing it start to like manifest and stick, and I like that. I just hope that people have gotten that intention out of this. the next training we're going to like recover some of this, but we're also going to like start working on assistant actions for your AT and MG gunners, and then we're going to start working on those particular slots to improve independent actions for people in those positions. Thank you guys for coming out for training. Thank you for being good subjects tonight. I appreciate your attention.
Yeah. And then one quick thing. I did forget to mention this that I wanted to make sure I mentioned. That last compound, that hotel building, fucking sucks. Okay? You guys clearing it as a 4 or 5-man team is a job
deal.
well done. Like, I cannot stress that enough. There are way too many hallways. There are way too many windows. There's too many balconies. It is supposed to be a terrible time. I
It
would
be
probably
a
not.
minimum of like three fire teams.
Yes,
Clear
that
that
is
whole damn thing.
exactly right. So, the importance of this is to mainly test those key things, making sure we're not jumping out of hallways and taking really wide angles, making sure we're using our frag grenades, making sure we're covering the necessary things that need to be covered, making sure that we're watching our sectors, and you guys are improving on that. And so, really, there's nothing more than that we can really ask for. So, all in all, good stuff. And as we keep doing this, we'll keep improving.
Okay. Before I go, I want to make sure that we all remember how to get away from one thing. Bad nade.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
John, frag grenade.
Why do I-
I was typing! And it hit me through the metal building I took cover in. Can I shoot him in the foot for that? Oh wait, recorded.
Question. Are you ready for my